with Fightharm, the movie that I was making, where I would go and I'd have camera crews follow me on the street, and this was the ultimate in provocation, and it was also, for me, the idea was I wanted to make the great American comedy, and I wanted it to be a cross between something like Buster Keaton and a snuff film, where I would go up to people and I would do whatever I had to make them hit me, basically, to make them fight me. I would never throw the first punch. And then the only rule of this, I set up rules, and the only rules were that no one was allowed to break up the fight unless it looked like I was going to be murdered. And that was really the only rule, and that I couldn't throw the first punch. I was a bit delusional, and I was very unhealthy when I was making that movie mentally, because I wanted basically to make this movie 90 minutes long and just consist entirely of repetition of fights, of just one fight after the other, one brutal confrontation after the next. And what happened was I ended up in the hospital many times with broken legs and broken ankles and broken ribs and concussions, and that was fine. That was okay. But I also was thrown in prison a bunch of times, and there's this thing called, 3 strikes you're out. And so I was told by the judge the last time that if I was arrested one more time for doing this, that I would have to spend a lengthy time in prison. So at this point I'd have something like 9 fights, 9 true fights completed. But what I was delusional about was I wasn't sure really how, I forgot how short a fight lasts when you're not very big and when you're fighting someone that's really big. Really at the most, like a good fight lasts, a really good fight would last 2-3 minutes. Sometimes even shorter. I was smashed in the head with a brick, and that ended really quickly. So and then the worst was when I fought this bouncer at Stringfellows, and this is where the comedy came in, and I was fighting him, and it took me forever because he was huge, he was wearing a tuxedo, and it took me forever to get this guy to fucking fight me. And what happened was, my dad, when I was young, my dad had this thing about never letting me be comfortable, that I was always had to be nervous. So like when we'd be driving in a car home from school, he would always go like that to me, or he'd always go, So somehow that just kicked in, and I went to that guy and I went like that, and nothing happened. I turned around, I looked at the camera crew that was across the street, and I went like that, and the next thing you know, you see the guy take me by the hair and by the back of my pants and throw me into the middle of the street. Now, I got really excited at that, and I was like, yes, come on, fucking kill me. Come on, please, kill me. And I got up, and I waited for the guy to come and run and hit me, and there was a trash can that was right there. What I was going to do was take the trash can and throw it at his face and try to smash his skull in. But this is where the comedy comes in. This is like true slapstick humor. An accidental slapstick humor was the trash can was chained to the telephone pole. So when I went to throw it, it went like that, and it was stuck. I mean, it didn't go anywhere.
Right.
So the guy went and he punched me in the face, and I fell back and cracked my head. But what happened was my right ankle was on the sidewalk, and in the film you'll see when I show it, you see him run up like this and jump and crack my ankle in half and just break it. You just see it just go, and to me that's a great comedy because the idea of comedy is that there's always a victim, It's the banana peel that would kill me. You know what I'm saying? The slip on the banana peel and crack your head. And so I don't know. I had to abandon it for a while.
Well, we of course would like to put ourselves in the front of the line to find a way to show this film. So
Yeah, I got it.
I'm sure there are others.
I mean, it's a weird thing because it's probably like the most asked and wanted. I think so many people want to see me get beat up. It's really a strange thing.
It's funny you're saying, I don't want to sit here, you can't help laughing a little bit, even though it's a horrifying story.
No, but
you also can't help but sit here and think, like, this can't be true.
It doesn't really matter if what I'm telling you is the truth, even though it is the truth. It's the idea that's important. It's the concept. But it is true. I mean, there were plenty of people that witnessed it, and eventually I will show it, I think.
Well,
I think people will roar with laughter at my pain.